Have you ever walked out of a classroom, a meeting, or maybe even a Zoom call thinking, that's not what I meant? Or worse, they totally misunderstood me. Communicating clearly with teachers, professors, and managers isn't about using big words. It's not about sounding smart. And honestly, it's definitely not about pretending to be confident. It's about being understood. And if you're between 16 and 35, a student, a college learner, or a young professional, this one skill can completely change your results in school and at work. Because here's the truth. People don't judge you only by your grades or your performance. They judge you by how clearly you communicate. So, let's break this down in a simple, real way. First, clarity starts before you speak. Most people talk to respond. Clear communicators pause to think. Before you raise your hand in class, before you send that email, before you speak in a meeting, ask yourself, what is the one main point I want them to understand? Not 3, not 5, 1. If you can't explain your point in one sentence, it's not clear yet. For example, instead of saying, I was kind of confused about the assignment because I wasn't sure about the format and also the deadline and maybe the topic, say, I'm not sure about the format of the assignment. Could you clarify that? Clear, focused, respectful. Teachers and managers love clarity because it saves time, and when you save someone's time, they respect you more. Now, let's talk about asking questions. A lot of students are afraid to ask questions because they don't want to look stupid, but here's something powerful. When you ask clear questions, you look more serious, not less intelligent. Instead of saying, I don't get it, try, I understand the concept, but I'm confused about how to apply it to this example. See the difference? The second version shows effort. It shows that you tried. It shows responsibility. Professors and managers appreciate that. And if you're working already, this becomes even more important. Imagine your manager gives you a task. You nod. You say, okay, but you're actually unsure. 2 days later, you deliver something completely different from what they expected. Now everyone is stressed. Instead, ask early. Just to confirm, you want this report to focus on customer feedback from the last quarter, right? That one sentence can prevent hours of confusion. Clarity is kindness. Now, let's talk about emails, because this is where most communication problems happen. Whether you're writing to a high school teacher, a university professor, or your boss, structure matters. Keep it simple, clear subject line, short greeting, one main purpose, specific request, polite closing. For example, subject question about Friday's presentation requirements. Hello, Professor. I'm preparing for Friday's presentation and want to confirm the time limit. Is it 10 minutes including Q&A or 10 minutes for speaking only? Thank you for your guidance. Best regards, your name. Short, clear, easy to answer. Busy people love emails that are easy to answer. Now here's something most people never think about. Tone matters more than vocabulary. You don't need complex English. You need respectful English. Use phrases like, could you please clarify? Or I would appreciate your feedback on, and just to confirm. And, of course, thank you for your time. Simple words, professional tone. If English is not your first language, don't worry about being perfect. Worry about being clear. Clear beats fancy. Now let's talk about something deeper. Confidence. Many students feel nervous speaking to authority figures, teachers, professors, managers, but remember this, they are not your enemies. They are not judging every word. Most of them actually want you to succeed. When you communicate clearly, you make their job easier. And when you make someone's job easier, they are more willing to help you. If you disagree with something, maybe a grade, feedback, or a decision, don't attack. Don't complain emotionally. Instead, be calm and structured. For example, I reviewed the feedback on my essay, and I understand the comments about structure. I was hoping you could help me understand the deduction in this section so I can improve next time. This shows maturity, not ego, not anger, growth. At work, it's similar. If your manager gives you feedback you don't agree with, don't immediately defend yourself. Shati de try nan de besern sunnyshine. Thomas kind to stands. What thank you for the feedback. Could you give me a specific example so I can better understand? That question changes everything. It turns a conflict into a conversation. Now, let's talk about listening, because communication is not just speaking. Clear communicators listen carefully. When a teacher explains something, don't just wait for your turn to talk. Focus on their words. If you're unsure, repeat back what you heard. So what you're saying is that we should focus more on analysis than summary. This technique is powerful. It shows attention. It prevents misunderstanding. Managers especially respect this, because in the workplace, mistakes often happen not from lack of intelligence, but from lack of clarity. And here's a small but powerful habit. Take notes during important conversations. Not everything, just key points. Then summarize at the end. Okay, so I'll send the draft by Wednesday and we'll review it Thursday morning. Now everyone is aligned. That's professional communication. Now, let's talk about body language, especially in real-life conversations. Eye contact, relaxed posture, calm voice. You don't need to act dominant, just be present. If you're on Zoom or online class, turn on your camera when possible. Look at the lens when speaking. Speak slightly slower than usual. Clarity increases when speed decreases. And here's something many young people struggle with: over-explaining. When you feel nervous, you talk more. When you feel insecure, you add extra details. But strong communicators say less, and say it clearly. Instead of giving a 3-minute explanation, try saying your point in 20 seconds. Then pause. Silence is not awkward. Silence is powerful. It gives the other person space to respond. And finally, understand this. Clear communication builds reputation. Teachers remember students who ask thoughtful questions. Professors remember students who write respectful emails. Managers remember employees who confirm details and deliver exactly what was expected. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You need to be the clearest, because clarity builds trust. Trust builds opportunities, and opportunities change your life. So the next time you speak to a teacher, a professor, or your manager, remember: pause. Define your main point. Ask specific questions. Confirm expectations. Stay respectful. Listen fully. Simple habits. Big difference. You don't need perfect English. You don't need perfect confidence. You just need clarity. And when people understand you clearly, they take you seriously. And when they take you seriously, your growth becomes unstoppable.